Okay, this is a question from the Token Metrics forum. You can check it out by going to forum.tokenmetrics.com. Slimming down your portfolio for a crypto winter. I like the title already. Question for the forum. If we head into a bearish 6 months, what projects are people dumping with a potential view to pick back up at a later stage? I know a lot of people hodl on forever, but for me, if we hit a major downtrend and it transpires, we are done for 2021. The only projects I will hold long term are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and XRP. Literally everything else I will be dumping, with entry points set up to come back when the market looks better. Not saying the bull run is over, but just playing devil's advocate here. Assuming it is, are people selling the speculative stuff, or are they holding it or accumulating? Very, very good question, and question I think probably the entire audience wants to know as well. Bill, what's your answer to this question?
All right, well, let's begin with bear market and crypto winter 101. People throw these terms around. If it's bear market or crypto winter, respectfully, no one's holding anything because everything takes a fast track to zero, or it looks like it's going to go to zero. Just remember, Ethereum traded at 80 on 2 different occasions. So you can say that you want to hodl something, that's great, but if you want to hodl it through a crypto winter, then you've got to have an idea of where you would be buying it on like a dollar cost averaging basis. So if you really like it that much and you're that convicted, then you would want to be buying it on the way down. If you're looking at it at today's prices and say, I'm going to hodl it if it goes down 80%, that might be the recipe for psychological anguish. Now, in terms of what people have done, I don't think people have sold. I think people had things staked and locked up. Perhaps that has been unwound. But I think this market just moved too fast for a lot of retail traders, and they just left their positions. I think the best thing you can do is not focus on whether or not it's crypto winter or not. It's to say, okay, I did a trade, and am I better off tax loss selling this than I am trying to hodl it, hoping it's a part of the next bull cycle? Now, if you're holding quality and ETH is above 2,200 and legacy is not crashing, then leave it. Leave your positions and give yourself a chance, and don't get shaken out if it's not a bear market. So, give yourself a chance, tax loss sell, right? Because that's got to make sense if you've got a wrecked portfolio across the board. And just remember, crypto winters and bear markets, it sounds great because everyone's like, ooh, I get to buy the dip. But winter and bear markets imply misery. So don't wish for that.
All right, thank you, Bill. So actually, Mickey has a comment for Bill. He's saying, Bill, you are too real and honest to be in this industry. Thank you for being realistic. All right, let's go to Forrest.
Yeah, so it kind of, to me, it might differ for everybody. You kind of have to identify what your strategy is, right? If you're a value investor and you feel the need to sell your investments because we're potentially going into a bear market, you have to ask yourself why you invested in that project or altcoin in the first place and what changed about it. If it's just price changing, maybe it's the time to double down when the price drops rather than getting rid of some. There's a cheesy saying that goes something along the lines of you should never trade an investment and never invest in a trade. If you are, selling because of a potential bear market and trying to free up some capital, now you've got to realize that you're kind of trading now. You're not necessarily long-term investing, or you're kind of mixing the two. And I personally do. I don't mind mixing the two. I do some trading and I do some value investing, but I try to keep the strategy somewhat separate. For example, I value invested in Audius, and I don't plan on selling my audio token in a bear market. In fact, I'm going to continue to stake it for more than 25% throughout the entire bear market and probably look to add to that position. But there are certain tokens and certain altcoins and investments that I'm more than happy to try to unlock some capital from, take some profits on if we get a really good exit point, which for me is going to be when Bitcoin retests its downtrend line, and then use that capital intelligently, smartly to buy in a bear market or when prices drop. You also have to take into account potential catalysts around certain cryptocurrencies and certain things, right? We might be going into a bear market, right? That's a distinct possibility, but do you really want to sell your Ethereum right before you got EIP 1559? Do you really want to sell your Ethereum before it merges into Ethereum 2.0 and Ethereum then becomes deflationary and we could see it rally? You have to take these things, these individual catalysts on your investments into considerations. And that's where it's really important to actually know your investment, right? Is there a high amount of a high distribution rate, right? Does your investment have a very high inflation rate that's going to accelerate accelerate the rate at which its price is decreasing through a bear market? Then maybe it's actually smart to get rid of it, let the supply inflate, and then rebuy when it's more inflated and the price is lower. So you really need to know your individual investments, really need to know yourself as an investor, and you really need to know what your overall strategy and plan is and plan accordingly.
All right. Great answers, Forrest and Bill. So in terms of what would I do, right? If we enter a bear market, what am I selling? Honestly, I would say I would sell projects that, one, haven't done well. They've basically lost money. And two, projects where I think the fundamentals have fundamentally changed to a point where when the next bull market comes back, I don't think they'll bounce back. So for example, let's say I like a project. For example, let's say like Armor Finance, right? It's doing insurance on DeFi, Ethereum blockchain. But let's say some other project comes out that's doing the same exact thing, same use case, but even better technology, better token economics. That just makes more sense, right? Because Armor got a code review score of 84. Let's say the project comes out with a code review of 92. That could cause me to possibly change and cash out. Outside of that, nothing really, right? Because what Forrest mentioned, at least for me personally, I'm more of a long-term investor. So I try not to trade, because lots of people try to trade and end up actually losing more money because it's very hard to time the market. And just being around, especially in a bear market, is where most of the money is made, because that's when everything is on sale. So if anything, I would be looking more to buy. So going through my portfolio, though, let me just try to be as transparent as possible. So I'm definitely not selling Matic, not Ethereum, not Helium. Benchmark protocol I have. That one, I would say possibly, but right now, no plans to sell. Filecoin, I'm not selling. Perp, not selling. LDO, Lido, not selling. 1inch, not selling. Audio, not selling. Siren, maybe. I mean, I may consolidate because I do have lots of DEXs. Siren is options. Then I have Perp. Then I have Opium as well. So I might downsize to maybe just one token in that space. So I may have to just pick one that I think will win out as opposed to having so many. Armor, maybe, but for now, not really. P Network, not really. Idle, no. Tornado, that one possibly. I mean, it's great technology, but their token utility is pretty much useless. It's pretty much just a governance token. So I would look to see if there's any potential of them even improving the tokenomics and giving token holders an actual reason to hold the token besides just governance. Alchemix, definitely not selling. Uniswap, not selling. Vesper and Idle basically kind of do the same thing. So I may downsize and maybe just pick one out of the two. I think probably Idle, but for now, no plans to sell Vesper. And that's pretty much it. So with that being said, tell us what you think. What tokens would you sell in a bear market? Tell us down below in the comments.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.